You're going to put today's date on these notes. So today's date is the 15th. Hybrid kids, you're probably taking this on the 16th, so you might want to put the 16th there. So we've done a little bit of this. We did a little bit of this when we solved equations. But what I want you guys to know is that on the FSA, they really like to give you words and then have you write an equation. Sometimes you don't have to solve it. Sometimes on the FSA, it's just about, especially on the first half where there's no calculators, they give you a lot of words and I don't want to say a lot of words, but they'll give you a problem and all you have to do is set it up. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to translate each sentence into an equation or formula. We've done this. We practiced this. But there's a couple things that I want you to know. The other day, I said is means equals, but there are some key words as is as much, is the same as, or is identical to indicate the equal signs. So those are some words that you might see. So if you see is the most common. Is as much as, that means equals. Is the same as, that means equals. Or identical to, okay? Is identical, that means that you would set them equal to each other. Okay, 3 times a number, t, minus 12 equals 40. So you guys notice this time they gave us a variable. They told us what letter to use. Very rarely does that happen, but they give us a variable. So it's, what number are we going to start with? 3. What letter am I going to put? T. What's my operation going to be? Subtraction. What am I subtracting?
12.
Yep. And then equals 40. There's some that you're just going to have to write. There's some that you're going to have to solve. So there's a mixture on here today. Right now, all I want you to do is write a sentence for it. And a lot of times, that's all you have to do. Okay. You guys see it says 1/2 the difference of A and B is 54. So what are you actually subtracting? Are you subtracting a half an A? Are you subtracting A and B? Are you subtracting half A minus B? You're subtracting A and B. So it's the difference between A and B. So I'm going to put A minus B. And we see the equals, and we see 54. But we still haven't dealt with the 1/2. So it says 1/2 the difference. So I want half of whatever this is. So you guys, if this was 9, I want half of it. If this is 30, I want half of that. So I'm going to put the 1/2 right in front. So if you ever see like twice the sum, half the difference, 3 times the difference, it means that 3 or whatever number is going to go on the outside of the set of parentheses. Look at this one. 3 times the sum. As soon as you see 3 times the sum, it means that you're going to need some type of parenthesis. So 3 parenthesis. And what? So then your next question is, what do I have to do with the D and the 4? Add, because it says you want the sum of D and 4. So we act like the sum of D and 4 means what? 32. That's not bad so far, right? There any questions so far? There any questions about how why I put parentheses or why I didn't put parentheses. Okay. The area of A, no, that doesn't say the area of A. It says the area A of a circle is. So look at this. The area of a circle is. So that means I'm just going to put A. And then what am I going to put for, oh, sorry guys. What am I going to put for is? Thomas. Head up. What is? Equals. Okay, so everything before is this A, and now it says the product of pi and r squared. So what am I going to put first? What does product mean? Product means multiplication, so I just want to write a little note. Means multiplication. It helps if you guys can see what I wrote. There you go. So it means I'm going to multiply the pi and the r. So I'm going to put pi, r, and what am I going to do to the r? It's r squared. So what does that mean? I need to put a 2 right here. Okay. So you have some of those. Probably not tonight, but tomorrow. Not you guys at hybrids. You're going to have an assignment today. I just talked to him. Okay. This right here, this problem is probably the most likely problem that you'll have, something like this on the FSA, because it gives you a setup. Yes. Okay. So, like I was saying, this is a perfect FSA problem because they have you set it up and then solve it. Okay, Lou wants to lose weight to audition for a part in a play. He weighs 160 pounds now. He wants to weigh 150 pounds. If P represents the number of pounds he wants to lose, write an equation to represent this situation. So how much does he weigh right now? 160. How much does he want to lose? You don't know that yet, okay? So we do know that. I knew that right away, and I knew you guys, but we're writing an equation, okay? So in the problem, how much, so you came up with 10. What represents that 10? It tells us P represents the number of pounds he wants to lose. So minus P, and how much does he want to weigh? 150. You guys, because we want to write it as an equation, that's the best equation because you start with how much, right? How much he weighs, you minus how much he wants to lose equals 150. You could have also done P equals 160 minus 150, right? Because if he weighs 160, he wants to weigh 150, all you have to do is subtract that. This is probably the one they want the most because it sets up that where you have to solve it. This is that's another equation, but this is the best, this is the better equation. Does that make sense? Okay. And then how many pounds does he need to lose? 10. I had this one solved, but because it's such it's a fairly easy one. If it was a free response question, this is what I would want to see. This is what I would want to see for part A, and then this is what I would want to see for this part with 10. Does that make like it? I don't have to see you crossing out P and doing all of that because I know that you could do that in your head. Okay, the very last one on the front of the page. Geography. About 15% of all federally owned land in the 48 contiguous states of the United States is in Nevada. If F represents the area of federally owned land in these states and N represents the portion in Nevada, write an equation of this situation. So, how many federal owned? 15% of federally owned equal what? Okay, but it's in the 48 continuous states of the United States is in Nevada. So 15% of the federally owned land is in where? In Nevada. So 48, you guys, they do this sometimes. So they throw numbers in there that you don't need. It's called, it's extracting you. It's extraneous. So this is the biggest thing that you need to know. About 15% of all federally owned land is in Nevada. See how that said that equation is in Nevada equals Nevada. And that's all they wanted, just to write an equation. That's it. Okay? That's the front page.